I expected that at least some of the core neocons with their TDS would sort of hold that same line and say, well, something along the lines of this, well, while I think that there were problems with the prosecution, it was political, the jury in the end did the right thing, or something like that. We're not seeing that. We're seeing an absolute wagon circling around Trump, even by Republicans that provably hate him. There are liberal commentators now that are edging towards Trump. I can't remember what's his name there. Just cut a $300,000 check for Trump. He's a former, I guess at this point, former Democrat, and wrote an op-ed explaining the reasoning process behind why. Again, sorry, I can't remember the name. It's on RCP right now. You can look that up for yourself real easy. I am seeing some people that were on the fence in the places where it matters the most, by the way, the donor class, moving towards Trump. And then this is less than 24 hours after the verdict. That is probably a sign that this is not going to alienate him from voters. If anything, probably the inverse. And the Democrats shouldn't have done this. This was their Hail Mary. The whole idea was that they hoped that by simply indicting Trump on a bunch of shit charges, that people would not want to vote for him. They would say, well, I mean, God, he's going to be a... They didn't want him to win the primaries, though. The first goal of these lawfare situations really was to keep him from winning the primaries, to run interference for Nikki Haley mainly, the neocon candidate. And they figured the Republican voting bloc is unlikely to nominate a person who they think cannot win because they'll be in jail on election day. That was the whole goal. And it won't happen, but that was the goal. And that didn't work out. Instead, it backfired. And then they slow-walked the process, and they said, okay, well, the second best thing we can do is drag this out as long as possible. 2 of the cases against Trump are on indefinite hold at this point. They're being appealed to all hell. The Jack Smith case is dead in the water. This case is, we might not even in the end get a sentencing for this. It's been docketed for right before the convention. What convenient timing, by the way. I would point out one other thing, though, and people are missing the context. Trump's defense did not care that they scheduled it for right before the convention. I think indeed that is the point. Can you imagine a more stark situation in which the voting public is zapped into realizing what the hell is happening than for Trump to get sentenced and not be there at the convention at all? So the person that 99% of the delegates are pledged to, who has won basically everywhere, can't even show up to give a convention speech, or has to teleconference in from his confiscated cell phone or something. Imagine you get Trump, he's in the orange jumpsuit with a do-rag on his head with a couple of Crips next to him in the cell with the smuggled cell phone doing the address to the RNC. It'd be the most mimetic thing ever. The most gangsta thing ever, by the way. It'd be hilarious. It would be pure Trump, something like that.